We are from the University of Nuevo, and we want to talk about how the climate change is going to affect the state, the activity, the primary activity mainly. And we do this exercise of climate change to try all the stems we come to climate change to have to work on it in the next years. My name is Juan Luis Garza Castro. My name is Gilberto González, Rebeca García, que está con nosotros, Elizabeth Maldonado y Hugo Luna, que está con nosotros también. The World Bank is already establishing that Mexico contributes heavily to greenhouse gases in the production, and that will be affect the production. Okay, thank you. That will be the climate change will be affecting Mexico population, the economics, and almost all the territories. Almost all the economy is related with weather. We to make the state of Nuevo León vulnerability for the main activities on the private sector. We have to know how the people are involved in this job. We have this very multidisciplinary task, and some institutes or institutions and people, producers, are involved to resolve or to fight this problem. As I said, Mexico produces 1.5% of the greenhouse gas, and this is going to be stable for a few years. It will not change. We try to focus for extension services on agricultural high schools, producers, associations of producers, and governments to take work together on this job. We have in short terms objectives. We have established a catalog of hazards. Where are the most riskable or the most vulnerable activities of the state, and what to do with each one of them. There are a few scenarios which has been made by different models on quick research we do from last day to day, and they establish it's going to happen a climate change for the state of Nuevo León, specifically in Mexico also, but for specifically in the state of Nuevo León, we want to have a change mainly in the temperature, at least 1.5 or 2 degrees up on the average temperature. We have two scenarios, two principal scenarios that we have to compare in different situations. The historic of temperatures that have been, how can I say, uniform in a few decades ago, but then start to move randomly. In the state of Nuevo León, we have a different stations, weather stations, because of the state of Nuevo León have mountains over here, and we have different weather in here, different weather over here, and it's mostly desert over. Not the desert they have here, but it is most arid. This weather station makes this kind of plans or scenarios, and then we have to just work with the data and then have more accurate maps. We do an exercise with the rainfall because we were seeing that lately the rainfall, this blue line is the rainfall from 2002, 2004 to 2015. This blue line is the amount of rainfall. It's not, if you see, we have drier years and wet years in between. Very random, very random. And the summer rainfall is the most important for the state because of the main of the dry land have used to sit on August. You have to get the appropriate moisture on the soil. And then, if the rainfall on the summer moves to September, you lose the date of seedling. And then it's very important because a few days of the late season rains becomes on complete loss of the crop. Even if the rain keeps on the next month, it's not useful, the rain, and it's for the grassland also the same thing. This is an average. This is the months for May, June, July, and August. This is the rain of that 4 months. That's important for the seeding. If I do 3 years average every 3 years, and so to polish that point and give me a line so it's like declining the rain on summer. And that line of work where you have to do more research, see how often, or do some statistical improvement or analysis, very safe, and do advance on that time. In the state of Nuevo León is very particular because what the total gross income related with primary activity for the state, the gross income, the primary activity is less than 1% of the total gross income of the state. It's exactly 0.65% of the total of the state, because the state is mainly industrial and commerce. So it's very low. When we go into government to ask for funds, this activity is very low for the state. But this activity, the primary activity in the state of Nuevo León, is the reason for 10% of the greenhouse emissions, gas emissions on the state. And thus that becomes a little bit of work due to much pollution. And I believe it's a good reason to have to work on it and get funds from some institutions or governments to work on it. And different scenarios puts a Nuevo León in high vulnerability for 2048. On the year 2048, they are expected to lose 50% of the total income of the ranches and farms will be lost if we don't do nothing. And by the year 2099 will be 100% of loss of the total income of the primary activity. That's if we don't do nothing. We have to work on it and try to get away from this forecast. Try to get away from this forecast. This is the the state with 50% in case for the year 2050, and by the year 2099, it's going to be a whole 100% lost. We have to see these problems, but have to opportunities also. It's going to be a change, but that change not always is a bad. It can be if you have opportunities. They have to determine the requirement of research for new varieties to grow, or even a new crops if it's necessary because of new pests or new climate conditions. We have threats, as always. You can avoid it. The weather conditions is going to be less predictable. And then you can have a long-term plans because it's less predictable on the future. Also, the new crop system can be less profitable than the older, because maybe it's not the change going to be better, but you have to work on it.
About 1 minute, guys.
Okay.
Well, with all the data we just saw, just a few minutes ago, we identified 3 regions in Nuevo León that are highly vulnerable for this climate change issue. One of the regions, is the región norte and noreste. It's going to be this one and that one, so the region norte, noreste. The other region that we identified is the region of Montemorelos. It's a very productive area. It's between the Sierra Madre Oriental, and this is a valley. They have their own climate, and they rain a lot over there. So there's a very productive zone of the state. And the other area that identified the most vulnerable of the three is this area, the south of the state. This is the area of Galeana y Arramberri. So these are semi-desert area. So with a lot of mountains too. So this is a very big problem for the state because this is a very vulnerable area. So we have to do a lot of strategies that mitigate the effects of climate change in all the 3 areas. And according to the scenarios we all saw minutes ago, we have to improve a sustainable development with technology and innovation to all the producers and the extensionists adopt that innovations and that technology to do real work in the field.
Try to finish up, guys.
Okay? Yeah. Also, we have 2 main sectors, agricultural and livestock. And without the studies we saw, we applied the vulnerability directory in directly with temporary agriculture. In Nuevo León, we have 10 different productions, or more important productions. In the livestock, we have the bovine, that means meat, the cattle. It's a very productive state. We also have poultry, egg production also. We have poultry too, meat production, dairy, and pork. In the agricultural production, we have 5 important crops: grasslands to feed the animals. We have potato production in the south. That was a vulnerable area in the south of the state. We had citrus production that we saw earlier in the area of Montemorelos, between the valleys, wheat production and corn production too. So one of the more important matters that we saw in this presentation is the market. Nuevo León only produces the 5% of what we consume. So So it's a very important thing to see that, because the process in Monterrey, that's the big city of Nuevo León, we had a very great population. We had 5.1 million people living in that area, and every year we had 90,000 newborn. So we have to do a lot of work giving food of that people. We have a strategy of mitigation. Very quickly, we have to innovate with the efficiency, the use of water with technology and innovation and irrigation systems. But we have to conserve tillage to keep conservation tillage, to keep the soil moisture, organic matter, and avoid erosion. That's a big problem on the state, erosion too. Look for the use of rainwater or treated water for irrigation without compromise the health, because that's very important. More treated plants of water, because we waste a lot of water in our city. And create an effective and innovative infrastructure to irrigation district in Anáhuac, that's in the north, and Las Lajas and General Bravo, that's in the northeast, that I saw a few minutes earlier. And in the area of livestock management, we have to do prevention and innovation in nutrition, breeding, waste, etc. And also we have strategies of adaptation about the climate change. This is a very important thing I want to focus. Through extension centers, provide support to rural innovation and training to extension workers, producers, and people involved in activities of rural communities and vulnerable regions. Because we have to give the people who need the information and education to do the things better. Because the things that are actually doing is making a problem for us. Also, research and continuity varieties of crops and animals with greater rusticity to face changes situation of a territory. Promote use of biodigesters in agricultural farms with the support of the government. Rational the use of grazelands, but by rational grazing paddocks, reduction of animal load. There's a very big problem in our state. Continuous measures of erosion to take preventive measures to avoid erosion. And finally, promote the sustainable technification of the field. In this area, we are not alone. We have Coahuila, Tamaulipas, San Luis, Zacatecas. So we all have to work together, because this region is very vulnerable, because semi-arid region, so we have to work together all over to mitigate and adapt the challenge of the climate change. Okay?
Right. You guys have to finish. We're done. You're at 20 minutes. So that's twice as long as you were supposed to go.
Okay, sorry.
Quiere que termine porque ya se pasaron, dice que ya van en 20 minutos y para proporcionar.
Just fourth line. Okay, cámbiala de una sola.
He's the boss.
Here. Okay, I'm going to talk about the One Health. In the 2010, was created One Health program. It's a program where the FAO, the WHO, and the OIE work together to guarantee a good nutrition at the world, even a good health for the human beings and the animals. Okay, how work this program? Okay, this program works. If I have a wellness in my crops, I will have a wellness in my animals. If I have a wellness in my crops and my animals, I will have a wellness on the people. I know maybe it's not really focused on the agriculture, but we guess in our team, if we were the veterinary science, animal science, and the agricultural science, we could make a better work to help the people. Even this extensionist program is to help the population, help our society. And the One Health, it could make a blend to make that purpose. They are some, okay, well, and that's all.
Thank you.